This is the video lesson for Unit 5, Lesson 4, Part A. The goal of this particular lesson is I want you to be able to set up a system of equations for a word problem. Not solve it yet, but just set it up. So one of the things I want you to keep in mind is if you have two unknowns, so meaning two different variables, you have to set up at least two equations to be able to solve it. Okay, so let's look at exercise 1. We notice here Darius has 9 bills in his wallet. They're either $5 bills or $10 bills. Fill out the table to see the dependence of the two variables and how they then determine how much money Darius has. So the first thing, he has 9 bills. They're either going to be $5 bills or $10 bills. So my two variables would be F and T, where F is the number of 5s and T is the number of 10s. What I know is altogether, there's 9 bills in his wallet. So if he has 0 5s, all 9 of them must be 10s. And let's see how much money that gives us. 0 $5 bills would be 0 times 5 plus 9 $10 bills would be 9 times 10, and that gives me $90. Well, now let's suppose he has one $5 bill. That means the remaining 8 have to be $10 bills. So how much money does he have? Well, one $5 bill means I do 1 times 5. 8 $10 bills would be 8 times 10, and that gives me $85 in his wallet. If you'd like to go ahead and pause the video and finish filling in the table, you may do so. And I'm filling it in right now. If 3 are $5 bills, then the 6 remaining bills must be $10 bills. So you can see with 9 bills, there's a lot of different amounts of money that he could have. Part B is important because it says if F represents the number of 5s and T is the number of 10s, then what does this expression calculate? Well, if I look at that, where did I do 5 times F plus 10 times T? Well, I did that to get these values right here. So what do those represent? So this expression represents the total amount of money that Darius has. So this would equal total money. It says here, give an example by choosing a value for F and T. We're not going to do that. We saw that in our table. Part C. If Darius has a total of $55, set up a system of equations. Okay, so same scenario. He's got 5s and 10s. He has 9 bills total. So I have two totals that I have to deal with. I have a total that's telling me how many bills there are, and I have a total amount of money. So for the 9 bills, I don't care how much money they are. I just care that the value I have in my table for F and the value I have in my table for T add up to 9. So that would be F plus T has to equal 9. When I start talking about money, This is where I can't take the number of $5 bills and say that that equals my money. I have to take how much a $5 bill is worth and multiply it by the number I have, and then take the amount a $10 bill is worth and multiply it by the number of tens that I have. So it's important to note that money equals money plus money. Okay, so my system of equations would be this right here. He has 9 bills total, and then $55 comes from taking the number of fives times 5 plus the number of tens times 10. Let's look at part D. Let's say that we were told that Darius had 7 bills that were all 5s and 20s. And we were told he had a total of 120. Set up and solve a system. Now, we're not going to solve it. We're just going to set it up. Okay? So let's start with our let statements. So we'll let F equal the number of $5 bills. And then I like to just put next to it how much it's worth so that I keep that organized. And then I'll let T be the number of 20s. So the first thing they tell me is that he had 7 bills. That's a number of bills. So 7 would equal the number of 5s, which is just F, plus the number of 20s, which is just T. So the number of bills equals the number of 5s plus the number of 20s. The second total I'm given is 120. This is money. So now I can't just use F. I need to take how much a 5 is worth, $5, and multiply it by F. Plus, a $20 bill is worth 20 times T. So again, total money equals money plus money. Total number equals number plus number. So keeping those straight is usually the biggest struggle that people have with these. So that would be my system. Again, we're not going to worry about solving it right now. That's the next video we'll do in class. Let's look at exercise 2. Louisa went to a concession stand and bought 3 pretzels and 4 sodas and paid $11.25. Raza went to the same stand and bought 5 pretzels and 2 sodas and paid $8.25. Right? But do not solve a system of equations that could be used to solve this. So what we don't know is how much a pretzel is and how much a soda is. So I'm going to let P equal the unit price of a pretzel. And I'll let S equal the unit price of a soda. This is different because I'm not counting up total number and total cost. They're just giving me something I can translate directly into an equation. 3 pretzels, 3P, and plus 4 sodas, 4S, is $11.25. There's my first equation. Because I have 2 variables, I need 2 equations to solve this. So where's my second equation? Right here. Raza went to the stand and bought 5 pretzels and 2 sodas. So that would be 5P plus 2S equals $8.25. And there's my system. I'm not going to worry about solving it. We're just setting it up. One more to look at. When we start dealing with shapes, this is when we're going to want to set up a diagram. So a rectangle. What's important about a rectangle is it has a length and a width. It tells me the perimeter is 204. So perimeter equals, to get the perimeter, I've got to add up all four sides. So the perimeter equals L plus W plus L plus W. Well, they tell me the perimeter is 204. So I'm going to say 204 equals, and then I'm going to simplify this side, 2L plus 2W. So there's my first equation. And again, I'll let L be the length and W be the width. We said if we have two unknowns, L and W, we need two equations. Now, this equation is equivalent to this one that I wrote here. So I only have one equation right now. Where do I get the second equation? My second equation is going to come from right here. The length is L equals 6 feet longer. That means I have to add 6 to something than twice the width. Twice means 2 times the width. So 2W goes up front. And that is my system of equations. Okay. What I'd like you to do now is pause the video and try the next 6 problems in the packet. Remember, you are just setting up the equations, not solving them. Make sure you include your let statements and then hit play to check your work. Come to class with any questions on these that you might have. So jot the questions down and you'll be able to ask them in class. So go ahead and pause and give the next 6 questions a try. Okay, here's the setup for number 1. Pause it so you can check it. Here's number 2. Go ahead and pause that if you need to check it. Here's number 3. Please make sure you look carefully at your answer choices. What are the things that they did in the other answer choices that we have to watch out for? Well, in answer choice 1, they mixed up the money and the total number. In answer choice 3, they put the price of a quarter with the number of dimes and the price of a dime with the number of quarters. So be careful. And then in number 4, they mixed up the total and the money, and they mixed up the cost or the worth of a dime and the worth of a quarter. So answer choice 2 is the only one that works. It matches. Number 4 was a perimeter problem. Oh, and you know what? I have a mistake here. They tell me the amount of fencing was 90. So I can actually get rid of that P and say that that's equal to 90. So there's my system. Number 5 is Dylan's bank collecting dimes and quarters. So here's what it should look like. And then this is number 6. And that's it for our video. Thanks so much for watching. Go ahead and jump in and do the quick check for 5.4. It's on our Google Classroom.